Throughout human history, there have been legendary assholes. Many will be remembered. Hitler, Stalin, Chris Pratt. We have a personal thing. But today, we honor the forgotten assholes of history.
Now, everybody knows the story of the death of Abraham Lincoln. How he was shot at the theatre by John Wilkes Booth, whose name will go down in American history as a real douche of the highest order. But Booth was just one of a group of conspirators in the assassination of President Lincoln, and the epicenter of their plot was at the boarding house of today's forgotten arsehole, Mary Surratt. Mary Surratt was born in Maryland, the daughter of a tobacco plantation owner. She married John Surratt, a wealthy but profligate man who always managed to spend more than he made on bad business ventures and drink, slowly selling off the family estate until there was almost nothing left. Kinda reminds you how great it is that divorce is a thing now, huh? He died in the middle of the Civil War, leaving his family with a mountain of debt and only 2 middle-aged slaves, which, you know what, quick sidebar, remember that slavery was legal in the state of Maryland until the end of the Civil War because the border states in the North weren't covered by the Emancipation Proclamation that freed Confederate-owned slaves. Now, the history of the United States is littered with blatant racial hypocrisy, but this one has got to be in the running for the biggest maggot in that good old apple pie. I mean, we're fighting this Civil War to stop slavery, specifically yours. Ours is fine. Ugh. So, after Mary's husband died, she moved into the family's townhouse in Washington, D.C., along with her 2 young adult children. There she began taking lodges, specifically Confederate sympathizing lodges. The house became a hotbed of Confederate conspiring. Most of the planning for the assassination was said to have taken place in that house, and Mary also provided Booth with rifles and binoculars to use after he had fled. Once Lincoln was shot, Mary and her son were arrested and put to death almost immediately, which, that's sad, isn't it? I mean, if you're gonna run aspiring out of your parlor, you should at least get to, like, go on a madcap chase across several state lines or something. I mean, this is America, goddammit. Okay, look, so here's the thing with this story. We wanted to have a woman in this series, just one that seemed reasonable, but they ended up being astonishingly difficult to find. I mean, there was Mary Augusta Ward, who was against women's suffrage, or Coco Chanel, who was just a little bit of a Nazi, or Queen Isabella of England, who had Edward II murdered with a red-hot poker up the bum. But for every terrible woman, there were 100 men whose behaviour was so outrageous that it seemed to make all the women seem like Mary sodding Poppins. To be a real historic arsehole, you have to abuse your power. And in looking for a woman for this, it really became clear just how little power most women have had over the course of human history. God, I mean, even Mary here was only one of several conspirators in the death of President Lincoln, and the rest were all men. And I'm sure that there are a plethora of women who've done despicable things, but they were very hard to find because nobody thought to write their stories down. Now, I don't know at this point exactly who the baddie even is, except the patriarchy, I guess. But that's easy, isn't it? I mean, it feels like one step away from blaming the Illuminati or lizard people. So, I guess if you're a woman, don't take whatever power you do have for granted. And if you're a man, just stop. Just stop, I don't know. Let's just all take a moment to agree not to be an arsehole anymore.
Hi, I'm Glenn from Above Average. If you're on mobile, tap up here to see more cool stuff. If you're on a desktop, click here to subscribe, click here for more videos, or click all the way in the top corner to close the video and then go spend time with your family.